Welcome back. We have reached the last part of our Segwit transaction tutorial, and I am happy to say that the hard part is behind us. And it wasn't that hard so far, but still this video will be even easier. We basically saw that in order to create our transaction, we always repeat the same process of gathering information, processing it, and then serialize it. And basically, we are going to repeat this process for each one of the remaining fields in our transaction. The first field is going to be the redeem script. Now, the redeem script is something that I talked about in more length in the tutorial on keys and addresses. But basically, this is the script that the creator of this new transaction needs to provide and needs to solve in order to redeem the coins that he received. In my example, I received 0.001355 something Bitcoin, and I need to redeem those coins in order to be able to send them to someone else. So I'm going to look at the proper script that I've been sent, and I'm going to make sure that my redeem script matches the script in the previous transaction. Okay, so let's jump into our code. Again, we are now working on our redeem script. So let's make a comment, redeem script. And the redeem script itself, as we saw, should fit the input of the coins that I received. So it should be bytes from hexadecimal. And because of the script was paid to witness public key hash, so the hexadecimal should be 0014, and then the key hash in its hexadecimal form. So key hash over here, don't forget, in its hexadecimal form. Now, this is something that is not really mentioned so often, but script fields usually requires size and length as well. So we are also going to add two types of length to my redeem script, one for the script itself and another one for the entire field. It's a bit confusing, but this is just the way it is. So we're going to start with the length of the redeem script plus 1, convert it to byte, 1 byte long, the byte order is little, it should be signed, it should be unsigned, so sign equal false. Then just the script, so length for the redeem script, again converted into byte, 1 byte long, the byte order is again little, and unsigned, so signed equals to false. And finally, just the redeem script itself. So I know it is a bit confusing, but for script field, that is just the way it works. The size of the script itself plus the size of the entire field, which is basically the size of the script, plus this extra 1 byte for the script size. Confusing, but that's the way it is. The transaction inputs and output count. I really don't have anything clever to say about those fields. They are quite self-explanatory. How many inputs and outputs are in our transaction? Nothing more than that. And in our example, it's even more simple because we just have one input and one output. So let's add to our code. And of course, we're going to make some comment to make sure that we know what type of field we're working on. So this time it should be transaction input output count. And quite simple, the transaction input count is equal to 1. We have only one input, 2 bytes, 1 byte long, little NDN, and it should be unsigned. So signed equal false, false. And it is exactly the same for the output. So I'm just going to copy paste it. And don't forget to change it to out. There we have it. Very simple field. Okay guys, I hope that you are excited because this is the final step, the flag and the marker. Flag and marker are defined in the Bitcoin core Segwit Wallet developer reference, and I will leave a link to that in the description below. But those fields are basically just technical fields that tells the other nodes what type of transaction we are using. And they have been also predefined, so we don't really have to think about it too much. As we can see, the marker must be equal to 0, the flag must be equal to 0, 1. So in our code, marker and flag, where the marker field, again, I'm taking it from the developer reference, I will leave a link in the description below. The marker field should be bytes from hexadecimal, and it should be 0, 0. The flag, bytes from hexadecimal, and it should be 0, 1. That's it. I hope that you are excited, because this is it. We basically created all of the fields for our final transaction, and the only thing that still stands between us and our final Bitcoin transaction, putting all those fields together. So we're going to start with the serialization process, and the first field is the version field, followed by the marker, followed by the flag field. Then we got the transaction input count, followed by the out point. This is basically the previous input. So the out point, there we have it. Followed by the redeem full script. So redeem script full. Then we got the sequence field, number of output, so transaction output count, the output itself, because this is of course our output field. So output, come on, where is it? Output. Now we got our witness field, and finally the n log time. And that's it, guys. This is our final Segwit transaction. We can now print it out, and we can receive this hexadecimal code. And this hexadecimal code, this is basically our transaction, and we can send it over the network. We can use some sort of API to upload this transaction onto the network. And that's it, basically. We got our Bitcoin transaction, our Segwit transaction. So I hope that you found those tutorials helpful or insightful, and I hope that those tools will help you to better understand how Segwit works, how Bitcoin works in general, and will give you some sort of first step into the world of actually understanding the Bitcoin code base. And I hope that you will use it in order to create some awesome projects, or even just to feel slightly more comfortable with some of the terminology in the Bitcoin ecosystem. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time.